So I just wanted to go over some of the original ideas for a live-action Batman Beyond movie, and a lot of this is based on rumors. None of this was exactly verified, but I do think there are some pretty crucial details in terms of what this movie would have looked like. So starting with the first one, this dates back to rumors from 2019. And we know that originally Warner Brothers really wanted Timothee Chalamet for the role, but it isn't really clear whether or not they actually got the chance to reach out to him for this. But besides Terry McGinnis, we know that, of course, Michael Keaton would have reprised his role as Bruce Wayne in this, following his cameo in The Flash. And it was really speculated that Michael Keaton wanted Tim Burton to come back and direct this film so that it would also take place in a futuristic Burton verse. And a lot of the pre-concepts for this movie would have been really drawing from the fantastical elements of the original, and we also know that this would have been part of the DC extended universe. And one of the main inspirations for this plot would have been the first Ant-Man movie. We would have had some sort of an explanation for Bruce's knowledge of the multiverse, like in the Flash movie, and Bruce would have explained after accidentally breaking his number one rule that he tried to time travel to reverse this, but due to the Mandela effect that this created, he ultimately stopped. And a lot of this connection with the multiverse could have really been something that wasn't just limited to one movie, but could have extended to even a trilogy. And a lot of these Batman Beyond films really could have mirrored the Justice League films going forward, and potentially even seeing some sort of a collaboration that would have allowed Terry McGinnis to join the Justice League. And we also would have had other connections to the Bat family members in this Burton verse that Bruce had either taught in the past or was also taking alongside just before meeting Terry McGinnis. We also know that Terry was planned to be around 19 or 20, and in college, this would have been a little bit of a deviation from the high school or the 16 to 17 age range where we see Terry in the beginning of the animated show. And in relation to the Burtonverse, there was also talk of bringing back the original Catwoman for a ongoing relationship for Bruce Wayne here. But really, why this version never saw the light of day was due to the development of the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. It was originally considered that Michael Keaton, along with Terry McGinnis, would have been the new DCEU version of Batman after Ben Affleck, but ultimately the decision to go with the Batman movie in 2022 was the route that was chosen during this time. And this really leads us to the next version that was pitched by Chirstina Hodson. And this took place during the Flash's post-production, and this was right after the cancellation of the Batgirl movie, which Hodson was also going to direct. We also know that Hodson was the director for Birds of Prey before this as well. And this version also would have featured Michael Keaton, but it really was just designated as a send-off for him in this. And this version also didn't consider Timothee Chalamet, but really was looking for a new actor or someone similar to him. And in terms of the overall plot, this was really pitched as a much more grounded version of Batman Beyond and a much more grounded version of a futuristic Gotham. You wouldn't get nearly the amount of flying cars or a lot of the supernatural villains like you do in the original animation. This also wasn't going to connect to the multiverse or the other Justice League movies. It was just going to be limited to a standalone spin-off project, and really due to the permanent shift to James Gunn and the DCU, this was originally pitched as just an Elseworlds or an individual project separate from the new direction. And in terms of any inspiration, this would have been much more of a Logan-style film than Ant-Man. And the real big difference here, there ultimately would have been some sort of a conclusion that left Bruce Wayne stepping away completely, whether this was a full retirement or him possibly sacrificing himself to save Terry McGinnis, or even just to fully pass the mantle on to him in the end and no longer continue his role in watching over Terry. And this would have likely featured a similar time jump and conclusion to Batman Beyond, like given in the Justice League epilogue episode. This version also would have included Selina Kyle reprising her role from the Burton verse, but there was a lot more focus on the dynamic between Terry and Bruce rather than the larger Bat family's involvement and the multiverse. But really why this version was canceled was due to the Flash's performance in the box office. But what I would say to that is I think there was a lot of other reasons why The Flash wasn't as interesting and didn't really drive sales, but I think that really didn't have anything to do with Batman Michael Keaton's return or these concepts for Batman Beyond. So I definitely think either of these films could have been interesting. I think Batman Beyond in general just deserves a live action project of some sorts. But feel free to let me know your thoughts on all of this, and I'll see you later.